Welcome one and all, ladies and gentlemen, growers and extractors and growies, etc., etc., etc. They asked me to open up tonight while everybody's milling in because I set the bar pretty low, so after that. I want to welcome you all to the Industry Roast, and we're roasting outside, we're roasting inside. I think they asked me to start because as an old guy I can give you a little bit of industry perspective. A long time ago it wasn't like this. You know, you had to go to the park at midnight, the third park bench, meet somebody, unmarked bills, etc., etc. Now there's like 3 dispensaries on every block in Eugene. So I mean, we've had some things that are good, some things that are bad. I actually had a friend who blew up a house doing a little butane extraction, and I was thinking, you know, the worst thing back in the old days is you're smoking a joint of Mexican and the seed explodes. But things do change. It's like, you know, kids, once upon a time, a long time ago, you could get 3,000 or 4,000 for a pound. If you took it to LA, you might get 7. And now, you can't give it away. Oh my God. I mean, you know, come in, buy some rolling papers, get a free ounce. There's over 1 million pounds in metric, and that's what we know about. But still, people are coming every single day, migrating to Oregon, and you know, I met a guy just the other day, came from pick any state, and he said, oh wait, you know, I'm coming here, I'm going to be a grower. I watched like 6 or 7 YouTube videos, and I got it down. I said, you know, dude, there's like 50,000 at least growers in this state. They've been growing for 20, 30, 40 years, and you're going to come and say, oh no, but I got a business plan. See, I'm going to grow really good dope, and everybody's going to buy mine. Well, yes, things do change, and the fight isn't over because we still got that crazy session guy in D.C. and he's saying all kinds of crazy stuff. But I think we got him on the run. I think the world is changing. Actual truth, no joke. I actually bought stock in 2 different Canadian companies on the exchange. I mean, it's just the world is changing, and like, you know, I like the expression, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I don't care what's going on. The big money is starting to see, hey, this is the way we got to go. So, with all that said, I hope you're all warmed up. I hope you got your drinks and everything else. And I'm looking at notes because, you know, if they actually paid somebody, you might get somebody that did it without notes. Okay, so I'm supposed to give a little introduction to Emerald Trade Alliance. Emerald Trade Alliance is a business association for those people who are in the commercial aspect of the industry, either cannabis or hemp. Our membership is made up of growers, extractors, dispensary owners, anybody that's supporting vendors, accountants and attorneys, people who are within the industry, and it is actually a legitimate business organization. This is time to tell people every time we have our meetings, come out of the woods, tell your friends, hey, you know, you can actually have strength in numbers. It's a great organization. We are in a summer hiatus for meetings, but I think in September we go back to a regular schedule, 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month over at Wetlands. See, I told you I'm old. Memory? Anyways, and then we're going to have, I'm looking around for Anna Kaplan and Christina. They're going to come up and they're going to talk about the wonderful, and Erika Winters. 3 awesome ladies. Give them a hand. Tell us about Women Leaders in Cannabis.
Hi, my name is Christina. I'm with the Emerald Trade Alliance and Green Sea Distribution. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? So this is kind of the year anniversary of the very first event that we co-hosted together with Women Leaders in Cannabis. Does anybody, show of hands, who was at that first event? Awesome, you guys are awesome. So, I see all the hands in the back. So this event is really our fourth event, and it was born out of a necessity to see camaraderie within a very small and competitive industry. And that's really what we still, want to continue to do and facilitate. So, our industry is, it's really, we're doing so much. We're building an entire industry brick by brick, and it's really cool. It's really special, and it's really, really hard. And so everybody deserves a pat on the back, and to get a pat on the back, and to pat your own back. And I love it. Right? Absolutely. So thank you all for coming out tonight. We couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't do it without everybody showing up. And that's really my favorite part of this entire industry, is no matter how hard it is, we keep showing up, and I think that really deserves recognition. So thank you so much. This is Anna. She's the president of Women Leaders in Cannabis and co-owner of Sugar Top Buttery.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and so happy to see this many faces in this room. This has been such a labor of love for all of us, and this is just the icing on the cake to see everybody here. I want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, specifically Ken Guy CPA, for all of your accounting needs. High and Dry mouth lozenges, I have been eating them all night, they're delicious. And Hash It Out podcast, which is sponsored the Incredible Bus Outside. Please go check out Michaela, it's an incredible podcast. She's got wonderful people featured, so it's a wonderful thing and a great part of our community. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Paris Black of Trimwear. She's got clothing specifically designed for trimmers, and it's incredible fabric. She's got models around the room, so check out her beautiful designs. I also wanted to just say a little bit about Women Leaders in Cannabis real quick. We are a 501c6 nonprofit. We are here to empower and educate women in the community. We meet the fourth Wednesday of every month at the Davis Restaurant. If you are women in the community and have not been, please check us out. We're so happy to have everyone as a part of our organization and support, so thank you. And then I just want to say a little bit about our nonprofits and then turn it over to Erika. But we've got Beyond Toxics, which is an incredible environmental justice organization that is focused on regulating pesticides and protecting people from pesticide poisoning. And we're also here representing and supporting Food for Lane County. If you brought a canned good, please go to the back of the room and drop off your item there. And we've got raffles to enter as well. And so thank you. Without further ado, Erika, owner of Everbloom Consulting.
Thank you. This campaign with Beyond Toxics is really important to me. You guys, how many have heard of Beyond Toxics out there? Okay, like half the room. Good. We're going to make it the whole room by the end of this quarter. They are a featured charity, and they're the reason that Eugene is the nation's first bee-friendly city and banning neonicotinoid pesticide use all across city limits. So this is big, right? So as a cannabis farmer and consultant, I think it's a little arbitrary that it is literally safer to wear weed and eat weed than it is the conventional agricultural alternatives. And you go to the landscapes and you go to the rose garden and you sniff those beautiful flowers and they might have just been sprayed with imidacloprid, right? So what's really cool about Lisa Arkin's campaign is that they are working really hard to talk to city politicians and our mayor to get them on board for what is called organic land care, right? And so I'm on their team of experts, and we are approaching different cities throughout the state and throughout actually the West Coast. The city of Irvine just jumped on board, and they're pretty conventional. So I know Eugene can do it. Next month, we will be having a conference in Springfield. I'd love to see you all there, because if we show up, we can show that we care, and our city officials will change policies. So this is a really big campaign. If you're interested, stop by my booth, grab my card, let me know if you want help, because together we can make our city's cannabis industry and our agricultural and landscaping processes throughout the entire state, some of the best in the nation. So please jump on board, check out Beyond Toxics, come see me at the booth later and get involved.
I just want to make a little mention about food for Lane County. I guess anybody who lives in the Eugene, Springfield area, I mean, all you hear is food for Lane County, all kind of events, bring cans of food and everything else. I just ask you, think about the other side of the equation. I mean, food for Lane County, that's food, but just think about hungry people. I mean, you know, if you ate today, you're ahead of a whole bunch of folks. I've been doing fundraising for Food for Lane County for 10, 15 years. And it just, you know, I always think of you know, who are the least privileged and how can we help them? And that's a real simple thing. Starts with food. Anytime you see an event that says bring a can, bring 2 cans, bring 3 cans, make a donation, help those people that are hungry. Thank you.
You're here.
I told you, if we got paid for this stuff, we know what we're doing. Well, we dragged your feet long enough, so I'd like to welcome to the stage the one, the only, Eugene's most awesome, incredible comedian, McGowan.
What up, Eugene? Are we ready for the Cannabis Roast? Thank you guys, I'm so happy to be here. I love all of you new people in the industry, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is for the fucking black market people today. This is for all the fuckers that have been in here for a while, and then now they just so happen to be the owners of dispensaries, owners of grows. I wonder how that happened. But I'm feeling good, I'm so happy to be here tonight. I'm doing really good, having a great day. Today started off great. I went to Starbucks for breakfast because I'm a goddamn baller. But I'm also American, so I don't believe I should have to move to eat. So I went through the drive-thru. But while I was going through the drive-thru, I wasn't totally awake. So I looked behind me. It's the motherfucking police. Now, like I said, I'm not totally awake. So I don't know if I'm being pulled over in the most lame car chase known to man. Just like a little 5-mile-an-hour thing around the kiosk. But I check, their lights aren't on. Check myself, make sure I'm not riding dirty. So I turn to the lady at the checkout and go, "Excuse me, miss. I'd like to pay for people behind me's breakfast." She looks, she sees it's the cops, and she's like, "Really?" And I said yes, and I want you to tell them thank you very much. Guys, I can't tell you how good it felt inside to pay for those police officers' breakfast with money I made selling a pound of mushrooms. They're now involved in the drug deal. That's like an Oregon-style kickback. They bust me for selling drugs and they're like, "Listen, we're gonna let you go, but once a month you gotta buy us 2 overpriced coffees and a turkey Resco panini." Guys, I do love this. I've been in this industry for about a decade, maybe a little bit more than that if you can count the East Coast time. But when I first came out here, I was a Philly boy. I'd never been around anything like farm related. What the fuck was that? I was a city boy. I didn't know any of that shit. When I got here, my first job was on the farm. I won't mention names, who it was, but a lot of the farmers definitely had dirty arms. Few of you got that one. But so my first job, it was on a fucking mountain, 100 plants outside, in a cabin, no electricity, no running water. How was I going to Netflix and chill? I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like I said, I'd grown up in a city, so it was really fucking weird. They had one dude who would come every 5 days, bring me up food and supplies. After a while, I was like, I don't think this dude exists. Is he a figment of my imagination? What the fuck is going on here? It was like the stoner version of Castaway. I was on my own little island. My bong was Wilson. Just started talking to him, but then he started talking back to me. It's weird, he had a smoker's cough. But so, they gave me like no information on it. They were like, oh yeah, just go hang out, watch the plants. It's like, okay, I can do that. But it was weird. They told me, they're like, okay, listen, watch the plants, but there are bears around, so if you see a bear, run into the fucking cabin. I was like, okay, I think I got that one. And then they said, number 2, if the cops come, fucking run into woods, hide out, and we'll come and get you when everything dies down. I was like, okay, I got that. Question, what happens if the cops and the bear come? What the fuck am I supposed to do then? Just stand in the doorway? I'm in the middle, nothing will happen. I worked at a grow shop for 6 years, well up to Vital Organics Northwest. Yay, Vital! I loved working at a grow shop. The grow shop back in those days was super cool. It was like working at like one of those indie record shops where like people, it was cool. But at the same time, I was also working like at a porn shop too. Like people would come in and be like, hey man, check out my weed. Oh cool, yeah. They talk about their favorite nutrients and all that. But then also the organic growers, when their harvest wasn't looking good, they'd come in and buy like Moab and Beastie Blooms and say, can you put it in a brown bag? I don't want people to see me walk out with this. You know those 1,000 years? Those guys are, oh, I'm balling at harvest time, and then I'm poor a month later. Fuck. But we're here. I'm not from here. I originally grew up on the East Coast, Philadelphia. What up? Thank you. Okay, fuck half of the audience. I'm not originally from here. East Coast, West Coast, very different. Mostly 3 hours difference. The East Coast, very different. Especially like weird senses of masculinity. Dudes are always walking around with their chest out. If you find an attractive girl that you want to ask out on a date, you make eye contact with her from across the street and you go, hey baby, you want to go bowling for a week? I can't pull that off. I can't pull that off whatsoever. I love poetry, classical music. By East Coast standards, I'm actually gay. It was very confusing growing up. Do you know how many dudes I had to sleep with to figure out I wasn't gay? Just like 26, I didn't want to give up too soon. It is very different out here. There's a lot of hippies. I love the hippie people. Where my hippie people at? Alright, I don't like you that much. I do love the hippies. I just don't understand a lot of it. I'm playing this fake game. It's called capitalism. It's pretty cool. It's got fancy papers. But a lot of the hippies are playing this other fake game, which is equally important. It's called taking acid at 11 o'clock in the morning and seeing what happens. Which, you know, do your own thing, whatever. But it's definitely very different. Like, I got a big truck and I love driving my big truck around. I hate the bikers, they're the worst. They really are. But, you know, they always get upset when, you know, they're like, oh, they're riding their bike and I'm stuck behind them. Like, god damn it. But I get my revenge. In my free time, I like to speed walk in the bike lane. They always get stuck behind me and they're like, on your left! I'm like, you, screw you, you're killing Mother Gaia with your wheels. Which, by the way, I was on a date with this hippie girl and she was like, oh, I don't believe in technology. I was like, bullshit. She's like, I don't even drive, I rode here on my bike. That's technology! At one time, the wheel was the new iPad. There was some caveman who came home and he's like, dude, check it out, I got the new wheel. And then another like douchey hipster caveman was like, I already got it in black. But being here in the cannabis industry, I got to hang out with a lot of fun people. I got to do a lot of stuff. It was a lot more fun before we went wreck. A lot more fun. Used to make a lot more money, and then now it's all hard. I don't like it. The OLCC, I guess you're cool because we can drink here, but fuck you. What the hell are you doing with cameras in every grow room? How am I supposed to christen that? Some people got that. That's how you make the flowers special. It is kind of fucked up though. Everything's hard now. Now we got testing. I fucking hate testing. Testing's the worst. It could change the price of your pound like crazy. I've never been that, I've been that nervous about an STD test. It's terrifying. But you can buy good tests, you know the labs, you know who they are. You might as well buy it. There are some really hardcore labs out there. They're very serious about their testing. It's almost like they're Nazis when it comes to testing. Fuck them, I'm glad we got rid of them. But I can't tell you how. You guys really like that one. Hopefully they can hear you laughing all the way back in fucking Roseburg. I do love being in this industry. Working at the grow shops was one of my favorite because all the growers, mostly dudes, which is weird and I don't like it. But one of my favorite things about it is seeing men try and overcompensate by the size of their colas. Oh, how many pounds per light do you get? My colas are big. That's like a flower. I don't think you're supposed to do that with that. That's kind of gross. It was really cool. I loved it. I love it here. I mostly was up in the South Hills with all the South Hills feather and leather growers. Those people were interesting. This is basically a bunch of FESD kids who are like, I'll just grow in nowhere, it'll be cool. They had a lot, see, like I said, I'm not from here, so they have a lot of weird things that I don't understand, a lot of hardcore things, very organic, which that's cool, I appreciate that. I was headed over to one of their houses, and I was hungry, so I stopped and I got some McDonald's French fries. Holy shit, that was a bad idea. As soon as I walked in the door, she was like, you can't bring that in here! That's not organic. I was like, I'm so sorry. So I left the French fries outside, and we sat down at her couch and she started doing an 8-ball of Coke. That's not organic either! But you've never lived until you've just seen a coked out hippie rail against capitalism? Man, screw corporations, they're so bad! Man, screw Walmart, they're evil! Pretty sure Mexican drug cartels are fucking evil. But you've never seen the Mexican drug cartels on A&E Gangland. Little did we know that the 65-year-old retired greeter at Walmart went by the street name Gallos de Morte, or Rooster Death for his early morning killings. Guys, are you ready for your next person? We're gonna have so much fun tonight. There's so many amazing comedians here, and we're just gonna keep roasting you people out there. I know some of you are a little anxious out in the audience. This next person, one of my favorite, one of the greatest people in this industry, give it up for Erika Winter!
Good evening. My
my name is Erika Winters. I am the owner of Everbloom Consulting. I have to say Everbloom, or Siri fucks it up. Like, come on, girl, I'm in my 5th tax quarter. You can spell mycorrhiza and rhizotonia and pythium, but fuck, right? So my business card even says 22 years of soil success. 22 years, right? I specialize in soil science and integrated pest management and fertility programming. It's awesome. What the card should say. Thank you, Mary Jane, for paying the bills for 22 years. Fuck! I love it. My adventures started 25 years ago, and there's maybe one of you in this room that know the story, right? And throughout my set, you might hear me roasting myself. My lawyers advise me to play it safe. I have NDAs with a lot of you, and I also felt like the rest of the comedians tonight may not have the balls to roast me. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. So here's my story. My adventures with Mary Jane started in the creek at a football game 25 years ago, right? I was so excited. Like, I'm gonna get high for the first time. This is so cool, right? So we're like getting ready. We're rolling the joint. We're trying to roll the joint, right? And I'm so pumped. I had vacillated back and forth for months, right? Like, will I? Won't I? Will I? Won't I? Won't I join the dance, right? Well, I got my boogie on. Oh, God. But, question, how many of y'all felt stoned the first time you smoked weed? Like, felt high the first time you smoked weed? Raise your hand. All right, okay, like, oh, not everybody, good, because neither did I. And thank you. At $25 a gram, I was disappointed, right? Thank you. But I'm not a quitter. So trial 2 and 3 went phenomenally well, right? Oh, I was like instantly hooked, like the lifestyle, right? But the career. Who'd have thunk it? 22 years later, I'm paying taxes with weed. I love this, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. So it occurred to me pretty quickly that I can't afford $65 eights in the East Bay area. I'm 15, right? So I go to my dime bag guy and I'm like, what up on an ounce, right? He gets all weird, like, oh my God, turf wars, is she like encroaching on my territory? I'm like, dude, it's all good, it's all good. Like, I'll stick to the junior highs. You've got the high school, right? It was on. It was on. Like, you guys, by the time I was 16, I bought my own Toyota 4Runner. My parents were like, wow, she's killing it on the tips at the pizza parlor. That's so neat, right? After high school, I got into UC Santa Cruz. I was super pumped, right? Ag school, right? But after sitting down with my academic advisor, we were like, well, really, I should go to school where I could learn to grow the best weed, right? So I went to Humboldt State. Where are my Humboldt people at? Yeah! All of us migrated to Eugene, Oregon. There's something there. Oh, you guys, the adventures. So I hooked up pretty quickly with this really intense outdoor guerrilla grow family, right? In Trinidad, California. So we're doing the Trinity National Forest thing, right? Like, I'm in my khakis, in my bird watching gear with the binocs. I've got my Audubon guide. We hit the drop point, right? And it's boom, camos, boom, 30-06, boom, Kevlar armor piercing bullets. Like, these guys are the real deal. Fuck. I thought I was such a badass, right? No, they were smart. So they would plant on perennial creek beds in environmentally protected areas where the peregrine falcon was known to roost, right? The helicopters couldn't fly over the grow. Like, it was fucking genius, right? Like, who remembers camp? California Air Marijuana Patrol. Who remembers camp? Fuck camp! Fuck INET! We're like paving the road for legalization. Get out of our fucking way. And what I love the most is now 10% of our profits go to pay their salaries. I fucking love that! I fucking love that! Oh. Alright, so like this might be a good time for me to give a shout out. Oh, God bless the lawyers, right? Oh, this is the only reason Everbloom Consulting has a squeaky clean record, right? We're doing good here. As long as Brian Michaels didn't show up tonight, did he? Brian Michaels, are you here? Industry hero! Yes! It's actually kind of good because like I want my 2012 affirmative defense victory to hold still. So, thank you to my legal team. You guys are amazing. I love you. So everything's going great, right, in Humboldt. Like I'm balling. This is working out really well. Until I realized that my partner was the next harvest guy. You know what I'm talking about? The next harvest guy, right? Like, babe, I know you haven't got paid in a year, but we'll get you next harvest, right? Or like, bro, I know I owe you 20 grand, but I just bought tickets to Sunsplash. I'll get you next harvest, right? Or, hey, E-Web, can I get you next harvest? No, you guys, are you kidding me? That's not how the rest of the world operates, right? Oh my God. So after he tanked 2 indoor grows, 2 different counties, right? Like I tuck tail and I go to the beard at the fish store. He didn't have a beard back then, it was like 13 years ago, but he hired me on the spot. It was so cool. I love the grow store world, you guys. Wow, the shit I learned. Like I gotta thank you. Where are my growers at? Thank you. I learned so much from you guys, like what never, ever to do in the indoor grow room. Are you kidding me? The shit I've seen. Oh, I'm putting Kool-Aid and weight gainer from GNC in my root system and wait, you want that gas tank to put CO2 in the soil? Wait, you do understand gas exchange and how photosynthesis works, right? Like, what is up with the pH pen in the kombucha? You guys, are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Ooh. I did tell myself I wasn't gonna go here, but you're laughing, so. Bro, store, roast, right? Here it goes. Oh my God, that store. I had to do stuff there that as an organic, permaculture-based farmer, like I am really uncomfortable with right now. Like, do you guys remember? Avid. Oh my God, they sold that there then, right? So I was not cool with that. But like the guys that are signing my checks are like, sell it, right? So someone would request the Avid, right? So I would go in the back, and you remember this was a fish store, right? So I would put on elbow length gloves, snap it like a surgeon, put it on the counter, back up, right? That'll be $500, please. No discounts. $500 for a fucking pint? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, you guys. The California guys loved it. There's no sales tax, right? And you couldn't even buy it in their state because it was that bad. Well, I guess everything in California causes cancer. Good luck with your rec market. We'll see how that goes. This store, you guys, oh my God. Wow. Y'all remember the green cards? Do you remember the little green cards at the fish store, right? Like, I was Mo. Well, I was skater girl to the guys, but like, you remember the pet thing, right? Yeah. I fucking love it. Well, so that evolved to 10% off everything if you were invited to coffee in the back room. And then that trickled down to like, oh my God, 10% above cost for commercial producers? When did that happen? Oh my God. You guys, what I observed over like the last 10 years can only be described as the Great Grow Store Price Wars. Like, that was scary. I was in management and leadership. Like, to watch those margins drop was scary. God, do you remember when a ballast lamp hood combination cost $600? $600. And I would rewire the Aurora ballast to a sunlight lamp configuration receptacle for another $25. Now you get the same system for $125 out the door. And it still caught the same cheap Chinese and Mexican capacitors and igniters. I know, I've been tinkering on them for over a decade. While I'm in your ballast, oh God, guys, we gotta talk about this. So, the shit I've seen in your ballots, like, okay, cannabis fodder, like negative pressure, right? Like, I get that. I've seen some pretty interesting etymological studies in there. I still haven't figured out how the lizard got in through the louvers. That is still perplexing. Oh, but you home electricians, oh my God. So, I have seen saran wrap and rubber bands off the 240 line from the transformer to the power cord? Are you kidding me? I've seen aluminum foil making the same connection, aluminum foil. Do you not remember what your mom said about sticking the fork in the receptacle? Boom! Oh, like, I am really glad we have electrical codes now in this industry. I cannot believe we now burn this town down several times. Jeez. Oh, and poor Comcast. Oh my God, do you guys remember? Yeah, he remembers. Do you remember when digital ballots first hit the scene? They're like, cool, running, quiet, sexy, low pro, right? Well, of course, the fish store bought a pallet from China, and we like put 9 in the hands of one of our biggest growers, right? Because 9 was like a respectable grow back then. So we're looking for feedback, right? And we got fucking feedback, like in days. So the customer comes back livid, right? Apparently, the radio frequency from his unshielded ballast interfered with Comcast satellite system so strong it shut down Monday Night Football on his whole block. I love that story. It's true. All of this is true, because the truth is so much cooler than some of the rumors people constantly spread in this industry. Fuck. Let's keep it real, guys. Let's keep it real, right? So anyways, these price wars are bugging me. So I started going to the Emerald Trade Alliance meetings. Thank you, Noah, Christine, and Mike Radzian for creating that space. Thank you. And I had long heard of the brains and beauty behind Vital Organics Northwest. And I was so stoked to meet him, right? So we're like, oh my God, like, let's talk shop, right? And like, competition is crazy. Like, we could get together and have a caucus, right? Get like Scott and Ryan and like Maddie and Donovan and like fucking Lindsay and Adam and all the grocery store heads in the same room, right? And like, we could cap this shit. Yeah, that happens. No one answered the fucking email, right? So, anyways, Mike and I built a really awesome bridge at this community. He's also one of the only reasons I had the balls to get up here tonight. Thank you, Mike McGowan. But my goodness, you guys, my goodness. Wow. So I'm doing the grocery store thing, right? And like, I have this great franchise back down in the Bay Area, right? Like, this is really conflicting. Like, what side of the counter do I want to be on, right? So, my partner in crime, my sister, who's had the pleasure of meeting my sister? Former Milstein. That girl was always like 2 steps ahead of me. I swear to God, like we smoked our first joint the same year. We fell in love the same year. But she got handcuffed for weed before I did. I was so jealous. But it's quantity, not quality these days, right, guys? I beat her there. I did beat her there. I love you, Sister Bear. I love you. So the great grocery store price wars, right, guys? Oh my God. Wow. Like, are you trying to take health benefits away from like Jeff and his kids? Like, I can't believe it. 10% above cost? Oh wait. You guys like go manufacture direct now, right? Clever. That's the new paradigm, right? Oh my goodness. Speaking of manufacture direct, we have 5 soil manufacturers in Lane County. 5. They mix that shit for you. That is a fucking compliment to your production volume. Pat yourselves on the back. That is huge. Except for you sent it all to the landfill afterwards. Oh my God. How many of you guys reuse your soil or build it? How many of you guys are, all right. You are gonna make it. You are gonna make it. So, I'm loving this. It's so fucking fun, right? But like, I really feel for the grocery stores, you guys. I really feel for them. Like, these are the folks that fixed your ballast when you didn't have a spare. They did your lamp replacement, right, to get you back on track that night. They lent a therapeutic ear to us socially awkward, somewhat countercultural individuals who spent way too much time in the woods. I get that. Like, I'm guilty, right? I have a 40-minute drive into town today. So I would really like to give a shout out to the grocery stores of Lane County, right? These people are incredible, and they helped us build this industry. It's huge, right? So y'all got a drink? Y'all got a drink? Get your drink ready. Just get it ready. So I would appreciate it if you wait till I get to the end of my list. Like, don't start applauding in the middle of the list. I got a lot of people to shout out. You got it? Okay? So I'd like to raise a glass. Let's roast a toast to the grocery store retail heroes of Lane County. You know them. You love them. Mike McGowan, Christopher Douglas, Christina Fox, Jessica Tutt, Scott Ryan and Ryan down at OCG. Oh my God, Lindsay, Ryan, and Adam from Down to Earth. Oh, and Bo and Austin and that whole revolving door. Faces we saw there over the years. And Irv and Eileen, like, love those people, right? And Vidal. Oh, Vidal. Oh my goodness. Like, Kenny and Thomas and Cahill and Linda and Michael and Travis and Mike, you guys. Oh, I fucking love you guys. So wait for it. Even though I had to unlearn most of what I learned there, let's hear it for the grocery stores! All right, so I'm running a little bit over. I guess there's like a stereotype in our industry that we're like late. So I get that, because like it took me till I was 27 to learn that people's time is valuable and you need to respect that, right? So I'm like super duper punctual now, unless it's not work related, right? Like I'm working tonight, so I was here on time, but like Everbloom Consulting has a 5% client cancellation rate. I am not kidding you. They happily pay the fee. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, Erika? Dude, we're on the lake, come swim! I'm at the farm, I'm looking at the security camera, where the fuck are you, right? Like, hey girl! I'm so sorry I didn't give you directions to the farm! I dropped the phone in the hydro tank! Oh my God, you guys. Alright, I love you. I've been there, right? I get that. But if we want to grow this industry, grow the fuck up! Show the drive! And answer the fucking email. Got it? I love you guys. I hope I was gentle. My name is Erika Winters, owner of Everbloom Consulting. Oh, and you can follow me now. It's a thing. So like thanks to Mike and Wendy and Vanessa and Fox, I am on the Instagram now. @Everbloom Consulting. Come find me. Let's Everbloom this shit together. I love you guys. Thank you.
Finest parts of the grow shop industry here. Oh, what? Huh? Shh. I'm talking. Never had somebody say so many nice things about me during the roast. Like, it's pretty easy. I thought you'd do better. Beard. I got carded last night buying a pack of cigarettes. I was like, what the fuck? I know I look like this. What, do they think it's some little rascals thing? Like 3 kids on each other's shoulders? A 4th kid just like holding on to another kid to make this happen right here? But then I looked at what I was buying. I was buying cigarettes, a Lunchable, and a Yoo-Hoo, and I was like, all right, this makes sense. Guys, your next comedian coming to the stage, he's one of my favorite people. He is a local comedian, but he also works with Printwear of Oregon, which makes so many lovely shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Seth Milstein.
Thank you. Marijuaneers, weediators, bluntologists, and dabomaticians. I'm asking you guys to stop, please. I can't take it. You're making weed way too potent. I can't deal with it. Now, I started my journey with marijuana in the Midwest with brickweed from Mexico. The thing was, after you bought your weed, the next hour was spent not smoking and doing a bunch of work to get all the seeds and stems out. That's real. It was the worst. And I remember the first time I actually got high off of weed. It took a while to get high because that's not really technically weed. First time I actually got high off of weed, I actually had my first good night's sleep in my life. I had insomnia all through my childhood because I grew up in New York. It's scary there. It's scary for kids. But no, I was sold. I was sold. The first time I got high, I was like, I'm in. What do we gotta do to get this shit legal? And I've wanted weed to be legal for so long in my life, and now that it's legal, I think we made a mistake. I think we fucked a lot of shit up. Because, first of all, I miss code words. I miss using code words over the phone. It was fun. I'm a dumb stoner, and I got to pretend to be James Bond for 12 seconds while I was talking to my dealer. My brother's word for weed over the phone, his code word was chicken. And I always thought that was a ridiculous code word to have, because if the DEA was listening to your call, like, they'd just be like, this dude's paying crazy amounts of money for chicken. I paid $50 for an eighth of an ounce of chicken. That's not even one finger. My code word for weed over the phone was weapons grade plutonium. Because fuck them. If they're gonna listen to my calls, I'm gonna make them work for it. I'm like a dad, and I have to do math for work, so I can't be the guy that smokes all the time. So like I'm at this point in my life where I still want to look cool when somebody that works in the weed industry offers me stuff, but I know it's going to ruin my life for the next 18 hours. It's terrible. I remember the first time I ever smoked hash oil. I was in Portland, and I was with a comedian who's now almost famous. His name's Ron Funches. You may remember him from the Trolls movie. He played the voice of a troll who shat cupcakes. So his career is going great. And here's the thing, I'd fucking kill to have that job right now. But I had to pick him up. We used to have this thing where he was a lot more successful than me. So he lived in Salem, and he would see online, because I would post every dumb little shit show that I would do online, and he'd be like, hey, I saw that you're playing at the Crab Shack in Portland. Well, I'm headlining the Helium Comedy Club. Can you give me a ride back to my house after the show? And so I'd have to find him wherever he was. And I went to pick him up at this dude's house. Some of you guys might know this guy, Ganja John. It was a dude in Portland. He's since moved to California and does nothing but talk shit about Oregon since then. So, but we went to Ganja John's house, and he goes, "Hey Seth, you smoke weed?" And I have never been afraid of that question since I was 17 years old. But he had a dab rig, and I had never seen one before, and I didn't know what was about to happen. I thought I had to have an advanced degree in physics to get high. And I was like, yeah, mostly I smoke weed. And then he goes, you want some hash oil? And I said this, and it was true at the time. I said, I don't know if you eat that or smoke it. And he was just like, sit down. And he gave me one hit of this thing, and it ruined me. It ruined me instantly. I just laid back in this chair and I was like, we're not driving a car for a while. We might just live with Ganja John now. And after I took a hit, they told me a story about a mutual friend of ours who had his first dab a week earlier and shit his pants. A grown-up, an adult man, shit his pants, and I was just like, no, because I don't know if I could keep myself from doing that right now. But I did not shit my pants. I remember we were driving back from Portland that night after I waited like 3 hours, and I was still way too high to drive a car. And we're driving back, and I was talking to Ron, and I was telling him the story. I think, like my mouth was moving and syllables were coming out. And in the middle of my story, Ron just starts singing a song. And it wasn't like a real song that existed. It was like a song you would make up to keep yourself like awake on the highway. And I was like, dude, you started singing your song in the middle of my story. And he goes, wait, you were telling a story? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you weren't just singing this exact song? And I was like, no, I was not singing a song that you're making up off the top of your head with you and before you. That's impossible. And then he looked over at me and said the truest words that have ever been spoken, which were, damn, we're real fucked up on hash oil right now, so you are correct. And then I dropped him off, and I swore, I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing hash oil again. That's a ridiculous thing to do. So a month later, I'm at a comedy show in Portland. We're having a good time, and this guy that I knew walks up to me, and he just goes, hey, you want to smoke some hash oil? And I forgot about what had happened. It was hash oil, that's it. So I was like, yeah, I do. And then and he had a little thing, a little pen windjammer thing, and I smoked a couple of hits off of it, and then he fucking disappeared into the crowd like a magical marijuana wizard, and just left me alone, and I just had to be alone being that high in the middle of this show. And like, it was fucked up because all of a sudden, I started to smell shit in the room. And I remembered that one of the side effects of smoking hash oil is you could shit your pants. And I was like, would I know if I did? I don't know. And I ran to the bathroom and I was fine. I did not. And then I came back out and I was standing in the same spot. And I smelled it again, and I was just like, oh man, this smells like shit. And then I'm like looking around, and there was this crusty looking hipster dude, and he was the type of guy that looked like he might shit his pants and then not do anything about it. And I kind of like, I leaned over, and I was like, and I couldn't tell. It didn't smell any more or less like shit around this dude. And then I'm so high that I have to know now. I have to know this dude has shit his pants. So I devise a plan, and this was my plan. I'm gonna reach in my pocket, I'm gonna pull out a lighter, I'm gonna drop it behind this guy, and I'm gonna bend down, and while I'm down there, I'm gonna just check this guy. I'm gonna nose check this dude. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, is this smart to do? And then I was like, probably, it's hash oil. Just concentrates. And so I did. I fucking pulled out the lighter, I dropped it on the ground, and the whole time I was waiting for somebody. That's the only reason that I did not run out to my car and run down the street screaming because I was too high to live, was because I was waiting for someone. So I dropped the lighter on the ground, and I reach down, and as I'm reaching down, I'm like, I'm about to smell a stranger's butt. That's what's happening. And so I'm rethinking every decision that I have made in my life that has led me to this point. And I'm on my way down, and I was just like, because the best case scenario is that I smell a stranger's asshole and it smells like shit and I'm not crazy. That's the best case scenario. And so I get and I'm about to turn my head, I'm about to do it, and then my friend that I was waiting for walks in and he was like, hey dude, what are you doing? And I was like, picking up this lighter, and that is all. That's all I'm doing. Leave me alone, stop. And then we're standing there, and then I see him out of the corner of my eye, my friend. I see him go, and I'm like, it's happening. He smells it too. I'm not crazy. And he looks over and he goes, do you smell popcorn? And I look to my left, and the entire time I had been standing next to a popcorn machine that was popping fresh popcorn, and I was so fucking high that I mistook the smell of popcorn for the smell of shit. That's too fucking high. Stop making concentrates, guys. Stop doing this to me. Now, I remember when the worst case scenario with pot was that you would smoke a joint at a party and you'd fall asleep. And if your friends were cool, they'd draw dicks all over your face. That's the worst case scenario. But now you can have a fucking psychological breakdown from doing too much pot. I also write for a magazine that is based in Humboldt, California. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of that area. I write for Savage Henry magazine. Some of you guys used to carry that magazine in your shops. Anyway, when I set up the deal to write for them, the deal is that they were going to pay me $10 a month for 400 words, because that is the price of modern journalism today. And he goes, I could either pay you $10 a month, or I could just buy you 3 tacos and a beer. And I checked the going rate for 3 tacos and a beer. It was $11.50. I went with the smart money. Jew shit. So we that's the deal. Is basically once a month, a big fat guy with a beard and a tie-dye T-shirt comes up from Humboldt. He gives me a stack of magazines, buys me 3 tacos and a beer, and we call it good. Recently, he came up and he said, "Hey, my wife made some cookies." And if you know Humboldt, that means weed. And I'm not good with edibles, and I knew I'm not good with edibles, but I don't have the confidence to not be a cool guy. So I was like, yeah, I'll have a cookie. And he gave me a cookie, and I ate it. And I was like, we just gotta get through these tacos real quick, and then I'll go home and cry. So I eat the cookie, and then he goes, you know what, Milstein? You seem like the kind of guy who can handle 2 cookies. I was like, all right, I'm gonna trust you on this, because you are wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt. I'm gonna trust you that you know what that kind of guy looks like. And I ate the second cookie, and I swallowed it. It was past the point of no return. And then he just goes, I'm on 2 cookies, and it's pretty fucking intimidating. I was like, God damn it! So now I gotta fucking deal with this for the rest of my life. So I ate the cookies, and and then 1.5 hour later, we're in a taco restaurant, and the only thing that I know in the world anymore is that I am not the type of guy who can handle 2 cookies. That is an absolute fucking fact. I can't deal with that shit. So I'm just sitting there, and like, he's out of his mind. I'm out of my mind. We're just staring at each other with just big dumb red eyes. And and we're eating tacos, and here's how fucked up I was. I think that I might have tried to shave my face with a taco in that restaurant. I don't know. Everybody was staring at me. That's all I know. So then we just hear somebody, no one at our table, but we hear the words ice cream ambiently, like in a conversation at a different table. And then he just looks at me and he goes, "Do you guys have ice cream in Eugene?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're a place. Like we have stuff." And he's like, "We gotta get ice cream." And I was like, "I know, because I don't know if you guys know this. If you're that high and somebody says ice cream and you don't then eat ice cream, everybody dies. That's a true fact. It's a true fact about marijuana." And so we went to this little ice cream parlor. We go to this ice cream parlor, and we walk in, and it's like a little boutique ice cream parlor. We walk in, and like everybody is just beautiful blonde-haired Aryan families with their rescue dog. They just got done hiking Pisgah, and the rescue dog is somehow a purebred Rottweiler. I don't know how they manage that. And like we just walked in and we're just two fat guys who've made terrible facial hair decisions. And like you know that whole thing of like when you're super high in public and you think that everybody knows you're high, but they usually don't. But they definitely did this time. And the way that I know is that I walked up to the counter and the guy just looked at me and he looked into my eyes and he just went, "Okay." That is not a professional way to greet somebody. Not at all. So I order my ice cream, and he's right. He's right. I was that high. I would have laughed at me too. So I order my ice cream. It's a complicated order because I'm a complicated individual. And I said, "Listen, I want a double scoop. I want it in a waffle cone. I want the bottom scoop to be chocolate. I want the top scoop to be mint chocolate chip." And then I said it perfectly, and he looked at me and goes, "Good job." And I was like, still not professional. So they gave it to, I won't even get into what it was like to eat ice cream in public that high. All I'm saying is if you're a grown-up man with a mustache, you don't eat ice cream off of a cone anymore. There is a napkin ratio that you will never fucking get right. But at this point, I was so stoned that I could not fucking deal anymore. And I just knew that I had to go home. And I didn't know how to break company with my friend. So the way that I did it is I literally just said, "Hey, look over there." And he did it, and I ran in the other direction. I just ran to my car, and I got my car, and I drove home. And because all I wanted was to be alone so that I didn't have to be self-conscious. That's all I wanted in the world. And I drove to my house, and I was so high that I forgot that I have a family. So I got to my house, and not only did I still have to deal with people, but I had to interact with them on a much more personal level. I walked into the house, and my son, who was 8 at the time, was watching a Jackass movie, which I did not want him to be doing, but I was in no position to exercise any authority over anybody. So I just sat there and I watched it with him. And every once in a while there would be like balls or something on the screen, and I would just look over and be like, "You probably shouldn't be watching this." And then he would look at me really indignantly, and he would go, "But Dad, I want to." And I would go, "Well, that's a pretty good reason to do anything. Follow your dream. That's cool. Go for it." But then that reminded me, him saying that reminded me that I was his dad. So I stood up in the middle of the room and I just said, "Bedtime." And everyone left the room, and I was like, I won my family, my house. And then he came back in 5 minutes later and he goes, "I brushed my teeth, it's time to read." And I remember that a significant portion of bedtime was that I have to read words out of a book and then say them in the same order that I read them. And I did not know if I would be able to do that. And he didn't either, because he looked at me and he said, "Dad, what's wrong with your eyes?" And I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, they're not open. And I was like, that is not going to change tonight. We're staying on course with that. And so I started reading the book, and I was able to read the book. I was able to read. I was able to say the words out loud in the correct order. The problem that I did not anticipate was that I got way too emotionally invested in the story immediately. Like within one page of reading, I was sobbing out loud, and I was just like, why is Dumbledore being so distant to Harry right now? He doesn't understand the Order of the Phoenix. He needs a male positive role model. And I freaked out because I was like, oh shit, I just broke down and started crying in front of my son. And I had looked down, and he had fallen asleep. So it was nice to know that the sound of daddy sobbing will lull my child to sleep. But also I had given him a cookie too, so we'll see. In closing, I just want to say that I think the worst thing that we did by legalizing weed is justifying pop culture. I think that, do you know, in the past 2 years, I have gotten a repetitive stress injury from ducking hacky sacks and devil sticks. Do you know how many times I've seen Sublime with Rome in the past 2 years? I haven't ever bought a ticket or seen them live. I just see them around town because they play that often here. We need to chill out. No, seriously, I never would have been able to sleep a night all the way through if it wasn't for the weed industry. I liked it better when you were black market because I just used to get free weed from the sound guys at all my comedy shows, but now you guys are making me pay for it. I just got my stitches out from getting gouged over prices for a gram. No, but you guys are fucking amazing, and you know, I do work for Perimeter of Oregon. We work with a lot of you guys, and we love it. And because you guys are actually creative, we're not just writing like dumb shit on somebody's left chest. But you guys are great, and I love it, and I love you guys, and keep doing what you're doing. And then also, whenever you see me ever, give me free weed. Thank you. Thank you guys.